Hello everyone, welcome to the Quan Shibao classroom. I'm Fang. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to drive underspin with a forehand. First of all, the first point is our feet. Everyone remember, the power starts from the feet. It needs to move upwards. It's not just using the hand to drive the ball. The power definitely comes from the feet. First, let's talk about the stance for drive underspin. It may need to be slightly wider than for driving topspin. For topspin, the feet are slightly wider than the shoulders. For underspin, it's a bit wider than the topspin position. In this way, we can grip the ground with both feet, making the foothold more stable. This allows the power to be more concentrated. The second point is our legs. The power comes from them. This kind of power is then transferred to the hands. How should we use our legs? With the right hand as the reference, it's certain that the right leg should press down. So, before driving the ball, we need to put our power to our right leg. Then our right leg should be in a bent position. Because if it's not bent, you won't be able to exert force. You must bend to store energy. Store the power to the right leg. Shift the entire weight to the right leg. The third point is our waist and hips. While pressing down with the right leg, we inwardly rotate the right hip. Then the waist rotates. If you can feel the rotation of your waist and hips, and they can't rotate any further, that means your waist and hips are in position. Some people might not feel this sensation. It's because when you rotate your waist, you also rotate your legs. Once your legs rotate, the waist can't rotate properly. This results in wasted energy. You should rotate the waist while pressing down with the legs. The right leg remains still. Apply this power fully. Once the legs kick in, the waist follows, releasing the power. The power from the waist and hips comes out. Now let's talk about the hands. When back swinging, after the waist and hips rotate, our hands follow the body's movement and naturally relax and open. Don't stretch too straight, nor hold too tightly. Both affect the stroke's braking force. Find a moderate, relaxed grip, one that still feels connected to the body. This feeling is the best. Once the hands open up, at this point, our fingers and wrists also has back swinging. There's a slight back swing in the fingers and wrists. This back swing is for the final contact with the ball. To fully rotate our wrists and create spin, adjusting the spin. If your wrist is raised, when you make contact, even if your body exerts great force, there won't be effective control. We need to create spin by using our fingers, wrists, and racket head to release the energy from our body. Now let's talk about the ball releasing. What we've been discussing is backswing, demonstrating various components. If you're aiming to attack against backspin, so your hitting point must be a highest point or an early dropping point. These 2 points, because these are the points where you're easy to attack. So how should we do with our hands? If you want to attack, our sensation of exerting force is impact and friction. Now let me demonstrate what impact and friction mean. First, let's talk about impact. We have to break through the board by impact, so that our force can be released. So what is impact and friction? It's when we encounter the ball. At the moment of hitting the ball, we instantly add friction with our fingers and wrists. This way we can exert our force and create spin and arc with friction. Let me demonstrate a few feelings of forward strokes. What I just talked about is this kind of forward stroke, also known as smash underspin. Now let me talk about how to perform a slow loop. I also suggest that For those with poor basics, or beginners practicing drive underspin, let's start with slow loop. We need to know how to counteract backspin to create our own spin. Everyone must understand this first. So we need to start with slow loop. The hitting point of slow loop, it's a bit different from the hitting point of forward strokes. They are all highest points, or slightly lower high points. We have to wait for the ball to come down when derv slow loop. As I mentioned earlier, this kind of sensation of exerting force from the body, it's the same when we perform a slow loop using the sensation of exerting force from the body. It's not that I lift the ball from below. It's also need to use body. It's just that our friction is more than impact when we touch the ball. Most of us feel a certain way. It's like after touching the ball, there's a slight pulling sensation in our fingers and wrists. I want to hold the ball in my hand to create friction and arc. And finally, through the body and forearm, apply brakes to elevate the arc and make the arc shorter. This way, an arc is formed instantly, and it drops after passing the net. This is the sensation of creating an arc. Let me demonstrate it. Look at my fingers and wrists touching the ball. I'm wrapping the ball, instantly adding friction with my fingers and wrists to grasp the ball, create force to make an arc. I'm exerting force with my body too. But you can see my ball speed is slow because all the force is used for friction, without letting the ball fly out to create a stable arc. In this way, it increases the curvature and stability of the ball. Whether it's a forward stroke or a slow loop, the release of our final force and the release of friction and spin must come from the racket head. You can't let the racket head get stuck in. Without exerting force on the wrist and fingers, you can't create spin, and your force won't be released. So whether it's a forward stroke or a slow loop, you must swing your wrist and fingers at the end. So for those with poor basics, including those who just started practicing driving underspin, you must first practice slow loop. Practice your ability to create arc with your hands, the ability to friction the ball. Only when you know how to counteract backspin, you won't be afraid of backspin. Once you have this ability, whether you want to perform a forward stroke or a slow loop, you can use them freely. But the premise is that you must control the spin and master the sensation of friction. The above is the basic of a forehand driving backspin, and the body's principle, and the application of hands. As long as you understand waist, hips, and feet, the principle of exerting force from the body, you can apply it to all forehand techniques. Table tennis requires mastering many complex techniques. For most players, even reaching an advanced amateur level takes years. More importantly, it's very hard to learn on your own. You need at least a practice partner, and hiring a coach long-term can be very expensive. Practicing single ball drills with friends is not enough. Many skills require multiple training. That's why I recommend this ball. Advantage 1: outstanding value. From design to sales channels, everything is simplified to cut costs while extending durability, fully meeting the needs of most beginner and intermediate players for multiple training. Advantage 2: extra low ball outlet. It can deliver short balls and half-long balls that barely clear the net, simulating real match conditions. Most bots under $500 cannot do this. Advantage 3: ultra portable. Weighing just 1.3 kilogram, it's very easy to use. Simple knobs control spin and placement. If you're interested, check out our channel's store link below the video. If shipping to your region isn't supported, Just leave us a message through the store's email. See if we can mail it to you.